نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى إن فرعون علا في الأرض وجعل أهلها شيعا يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم إنه كان من المفسدين. Since our dear Imam Ali, gave me the direction to come and speak to you, I was thinking about a few topics. And I came to the conclusion that there is only one topic perhaps I can speak to, and that is genocide. That is genocide. But first, people hear words, and those words will have to be translated properly, and they need to be understood properly. So I looked into an American dictionary. What does that mean when somebody says genocide? Different things come to mind. And I want us to understand and clearly and vividly align with the word genocide, because that's important for the topic and for the discussion that we're going to have this afternoon. So the dictionary says, and I'm going to just read it to you, it says the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. Are we aligned? Right? This is what's going on in Gaza. That's what's exactly going on in Gaza. That how the Palestinians, our brothers and sisters, are being eliminated, annihilated, killed. And most of them are children, women, civilian, elderly. So far the number is 40,000. And there are uncounted numbers of amputees. There's no count for that. So I thought I would try to look, make an attempt to look from the glasses of the Quran, that how should I behave? What should be my responsibility? And what is it? What action should I take positively? First of all, I need to be a person, a man who has direction. There are two kinds of people in the world. Directional people and directionless people. And Quran speaks diligently about those people who are direction, who has a direction, clear direction, and those who have no direction. I will elaborate on this on some other time, but today I gotta make sure that I'm a person who has a direction, and my direction is derived from the Quran, and I will speak to it a little bit later today. But first, genocide happened, or actually it was committed by Fir'aun. The ayah I recited to you, and there are a couple more ayats or verses in the Quran about Fir'aun committing the genocide. But his genocide, I mean, we speak about Fir'aun a lot of time and we condemn him, the Quran condemns him. But his genocide was limited to the boys of Bani Israel. You see what I'm saying? Limited to a target. His target was young kids, the boys only. Not the women, not the girls, boys only. That was the genocide that he was committing. But his genocide was limited because he was told that he would be destroyed by a boy who would be born in Bani Israel. So what did he do? He took the action upon himself and he started slaughtering. يُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ. He started slaughtering the boys of Bani Israel. وَيَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُمْ. And he was leaving alone their women. But today, if you look at the genocide that is committed, it's not limited to certain people. It is for all. Keep that in mind. And the Fir'aun, he thought of himself, إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ عَلَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. I am the one exalted. This is exactly how you can really replicate this. This is exactly how the people who are committing the genocide believe that they are higher on the earth. This is how they believe. But the Palestinian takes it differently. You know, I'm not there. I don't know how to feel. But I can feel how they feel. But I have to sit down for a moment, seclude myself from my social media, from the propaganda, from all that stuff, and think through this, sort it out for myself, being a directional person. That's what I like to do. So Palestinians don't look at the situation like we do. Some of us feel sympathy, some of us feel empathy, some of us want to give money, some of us want to feel bad and cry a little bit. But that's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects you to do. But let's go to a story here. They consider that they are gaining. Palestinian, even though you see how many of them are martyred, but they say we are gaining with our martyrs. You see what I'm saying? That's just a strange feeling to talk about this. They believe, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. They're not losing their heart. They're not grieving, of course. They are, in the situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the situation of people like this. And they are وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. You have the uppermost if you are the believers. So if you look at their behavior, you study their behavior. I'm not saying 100% all of them are this way. But those, you see them. You see this child. He's crying over his father, who's a martyr, and he's saying, "Oh, my father, who will wake me up for Fajr Salah?" He's not worried about, the food, who's going to feed me. He's not worried about, who's going to put him to bed. He's worried about who's going to wake me up for Fajr Salah. So you can imagine that father, how he's raising his child in that difficult situation where his son is worried that who's going to wake me up for Fajr. So I tell you the story about this girl. She's 17 years old. She's coming from school. She's walking home. And on the way, let me describe to you. She's wearing a hijab. She has his chastity intact. She has her dignity. 17 years old. She's walking home. An Israeli soldier, he doesn't like the way she's walking. He doesn't like her. So he stops her. And he asks her questions. He wants her to beg for her life. But this daughter of ours, her name is Dania. Our daughter of us, she kept her dignity, she kept her stance, she kept her majesty. She didn't let it go. She didn't plead for her life. So this soldier, he shot her in the head. He kills her. She falls on the Palestinian land. Her blood is on the Palestinian land. Her pure blood is on the Palestinian land. Her family came, picked her up, buried her as a martyr. But there was a 20 years old Palestinian young man witnessing this whole situation. And he takes the video and the picture and he put it on the social media. And he writes two sentences. He writes two sentences saying, if this girl was your daughter or your sister, how would you feel? The social media felt the pain. The brothers and sisters who look at it, they felt the pain. But he didn't stop there. He went after that Israeli soldier and he wounded him. In the process, he also got martyred. His blood flowed on the street of Palestine. His family came and they picked him up. They buried him as a martyr. But now something interesting, and this story took a twist. The father of this young man, his name was Raib, he is accepting the condolences from his friend, from his family. And he realizes that the girl that was martyred, her father is also present in that gathering. So he gets up, he went up to him, and he would hug him, he would kiss him on his forehead, and makes this strange request. Wallahi, I mean, this is amazing. He makes this strange request, and he said, I want to marry your martyred daughter, Dania, to my martyred son, by Allah's command and the Prophet's word. Do you agree? Never heard this before. The father of the martyred girl replied to the father of the martyred young man as follows: by Allah's command and Prophet's guidance, I give my permission for my martyred daughter Dania to marry your son Ra'id. And this is, I've seen many marriages, I conducted many marriages, but never heard this kind of situation. So you see, in that difficult situation, how do you say this? What do you call this? What do you call this a metaphysical dimension? Would you call it a transcendent dimension? Or you call it a hereafter dimension? What do you call that? How do you take this? So I, for myself, look for something. And I said, these people are teaching me something. What are they teaching me? They're teaching me, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, know this. أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب وله وزينة. That this life on this earth is nothing but an amusement and a plaything. They're teaching me how to live like a Muslim. They're teaching me how to die like a Muslim. There is only one guarantee to every one of us, and that guarantee is death. Nothing else is guaranteed. You're not guaranteed anything else except death. So they're teaching me that I'm going to die, and that's the guarantee on me from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact of life is that you are guaranteed to die. Remember this. And this will change your behavior, that how do you take this life? Then what it taught me. And I see this behavior among people. وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. People ask each other, what your child is doing? How many kids you have? Is he in the medical? Or is he an engineer? Or she is doing what? So what people are doing, they're boasting about things. That my child is this or my... So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is depicting, He's describing who we are. So they're teaching me. They're my teachers in this life. I feel that I'm learning from them. That how do I look at this situation from the glasses of the Quran? How do I behave? What do I do? They don't lose the hope. لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Don't lose hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Absolutely not. At this point, I like to mention something. And that's the story about Rabi'i. I think I spoke about it before a little bit. When he's standing, a 30-year-old young man is standing in front of a general, Rustam, who has some 80,000 Persian army, and he is showing him the money, he's showing him the power. And this 30-year-old man, Rabi'i, his response to him is that I am here to take you out. إن الله ابتعثنا لنخرج من شاء من عباد إلا عبادة الله. I am here to take you out from the worship of human being to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this man is poor, he got nothing. His clothes are patched. And he has a psychological superiority that this dunya doesn't mean anything to me, because he has a full belief, just like my daughter Dania, a Palestinian, our daughter, our sister had a belief that where she's going, and she did not submit to the Israeli soldier. You see, he's standing up, he's clear, he's a directional man. He knows why he's there. He's not going to be impressed by these big buildings and all that. He's not going to be impressed by that. And then he said, وَمِن ضِيقِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَىٰ سَعَتِهَا. I am taking you from the narrowness of this dunya to the vastness of the akhirah. It's mind-boggling. You talk to 30 years old young man or young girl today, you know, they tell you today that they take time to get mature. That's fine. And then he says, وَمِن جَوْرِ الْأَدْيَانِ إِلَىٰ عَدْلِ الْإِسْلَامِ. I am here to get rid of all the various corrupt way of life and taking you to the Islam, the just Islam. So ask yourself, are you part of a divine civilization? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Arab, if you're Palestinian, if you are from subcontinent. I really don't care. But my question to you is, are you part of a divine? The divine means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala architected your civilization. So when I say direction, a lot of people pay attention to Ihdina Sirat, they pay attention to what? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. And they stop right there. So if you know to be a directional person, you need two quantities. Number one, you need the magnitude, that how pious you are on the scale what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has defined. And number two, you need to know from north which degree you're going to go to. So then you complete the vector. Now you know you're a directional person. And people most of the time stop at the point where there's just a quantity. So the first part, if I define it this way, the first part, that is a quantity, your iman, that you are doing the salah, you are recognizing, oh Allah, you are the only one we worship, you're the only one we seek help, and that's where we stop. The other part, which is the direction, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, that gives you the direction, that makes you to have the deen, not the madhab. You stop at the madhab. So when are we going to establish the Sharia in our life? the Sharia in our family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Oh, you believe, protect, save yourself and your family from what? Fire. What action when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say this? Who's saying this? This is a factual knowledge. Quran is a factual knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying it will happen. The Qiyamah will happen. The Jannah and Nar will happen. So when Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara, what action we have taken our family to make sure we save ourselves from the fire and we save ourselves from and our family from that. Palestinians are doing that. What action are we taking? So I'm not criticizing you. I'm telling myself that Dawood, you gotta go take the action to save yourself. Do not consume yourself in this life, because this life is short and it's gonna go away and nothing is gonna, it's just in the air, it's just gonna dissolve in the air. Whether you are an Uber driver or you are a big time doctor or engineer, you have a big palace or nothing. We all go in the same cover and we will be asked those questions, same question everyone will be answering. So you gotta make sure that you save yourself from fire. I gotta make sure that I save from my fire. Then the Palestinian brothers and sisters, they are fighting this, they are in it. How you are going to help them? You figure it out yourself. غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد النبيين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمن الرسول بما أنزل
سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها، لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, I think we need a couple of minutes of the time to make some recording announcements.
Aisha is starting tomorrow is going to be at 8:15, and Maghrib is changing to 7:05. Also, we see some parking issues starting to arise. This is the first Jum'ah is always full. Second Jum'ah is always, we have plenty of parking. It's at 1:30, so if you can't make it or you're late to the first Jum'ah, we have second Jum'ah, inshallah, you can have that one, there's plenty of parking. Sunday school, inshallah, is starting next week, Sunday. So if you haven't registered your kids, or if you plan on registering, please make sure you talk to Brother Zohaib or Brother Harris to actually enroll your kids in the school. Membership for new members is due September 15th. So if you have not submitted your application for the membership for the masjid, it's
by September 15th for new members. If you're an existing member, it's due December 31st. If you have not submitted one, submit one, inshallah. Also, there's in September we have Sunday midweek classes and tafsir for program for reverts after Asr. So if you know a revert or you actually a revert that you like to actually be part of those midweek classes, please join after Asr, inshallah, every Sunday. It'll be there'll be a tabligh and tafsir classes for specifically for those. So also ICNEV is participating in the annual food drive this year, and it's just basically to actually get the food banks reached out that they need some food supplies basically, and we're doing $15 per bag. So if you want to donate that, or you can actually bring the actual food yourself. It's actually a bag that has certain items, sugar, rice, wheat, and flour, and then vegetable oil. So we sent flyers for direction, inshallah, and the food drive is on September 8th in the masjid here, or if you like to donate money, it's $15 per bag. So please donate generously to that cause. Also, Sister Sanat is giving some current plants outside. So if you're interested in have a plant, inshallah, she has a few outside. So if you want to pick one up, you're more than welcome to do so. Sister Sanat is giving them out. Jazakumullah.
جزاك الله خير.